Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. This is Lena with Especially Made for Me. We're going to be working on a fun project today, just a different way of making a bow to make it look bigger and so that we can also use it as a door hanger. So we're going to be needing we're going to need some mesh of your preferred color. You can decide on your theme colors for it's going to be a Valentine's Day one. So I have some pink because I want to add this sign from the Dollar Tree to our bow so that we can make it into a door hanger. And then of course I have some matching ribbons to go with both. So we're going to be making again our bow, and then we're going to attach it to our truck to make it a door hanger. So I am going to, let's see, do I have I want to make sure I have my zip ties out. Alrighty, so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and do our camera change as we normally do. But I want to remind you, if you haven't already done so, please do give thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and click on that bell. Subscribing, of course, will give you notifications on a regular basis, makes it easier for you to find the channel. Clicking on that bell will send you notifications when we are going up live, when we do an upload or do a premiere, so that way you'll be notified of those as well. And thumbs up also helps us with growing the channel as well as you subscribing. So do show some love by doing that, and also sharing the link of the tutorial with your friends and family and social media so that they can also do the same. Do invite them to do so. That'll help me with the growth of the channel, which is why we call it showing some love. It just helps us out that way without having to spend a penny. So thank you in advance for doing that. I'm going to go ahead and change the camera view so we can have that multiple view. So you'll still see me on the corner of your screen, but we'll have mainly the top view, a bird's eye view, onto my work table, my craft table, so that you can see what we're doing a little bit better, a little bit easier. So I'm just moving the keyboard out of the way, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. We know time is valuable, right? So here we go. You should see me onto the corner of your screen and also see the top view of the camera. So today I'm going to show you how to make a bow using an easy bow maker, just to make it a little bit easier, just for an extra set of hands. But you don't have to have one of these. You could also use the Bowdabra and use the same method I'm going to be using. It's just a different tool to basically hold your ribbon. But you don't have to use either one. You can use your hands if you're comfortable with that. I just like, so you know, to have, basically this helps me. It's like having an extra set of hands without having someone else here helping. So that's all the tools are for. It's just to kind of help make things a little bit easier. But again, you don't absolutely have to have that. I'm seeing there's like a, hopefully you can see okay. If not, let me know. Just by way of comment, let me know if there's something that you're not seeing too well, or if you can't see or hear too well, and we can go from there. So first things first, you make a bow with the mesh, and we're going to make a separate bow with our ribbons, and then we're going to put the two together. Once we have that together, then we're going to go ahead and attach, as we're working on that, we'll attach our door hanger, and then we'll work all of that in. So should be easy peasy. Just wanted to kind of show you again everything we have. You should be able to see it here on the working table, so that way you'll have an idea. Let me turn this over so you can see what it reads. That would be helpful. Okay, so I'm going to, just for ease of managing all of this here on the table, I'm going to work on the bow first. So since our mesh is going to be the bottom, the base of our bow, and it's pink, I'm going to start our bow with red, because this will be the first color that will be on top of our mesh. So let me take my little pin out. And I think I want, let's see, and you can use, this is the Bowdabra, by the way. You can use this also as an extra set of hands if you have one of these. If you don't, I do have the links, affiliate links on underneath the description on the video, and you can purchase either one through those links. It just, I might get a couple of pennies, that's all that is. Oops. I got the dovetail here done and I got it all crooked. Don't know how I did that. I think that's a first. Okay, and I'll show you how to do that again here in a little bit, if you don't know how to do the dovetailing. So since we're going to have a pretty long tail, I'm going to go ahead and do a 12 inches for that. And all I'm doing here is doing a twist. When it's the same color on both sides and it's not like faded, you don't necessarily have to do a twist. I've just kind of gotten accustomed to doing that, but you don't have to. Okay, so we're going to go out about 6 inches or so, maybe 6.5. And you could decide depending on how big you're going to make your the bow with the mesh, and kind of go from there. But 6.5, it's my my standard for starting a bow. It all depends on how big you want your bow to be and what tools you're using, if any. And if you use the Easy Bow Maker, it has its own measurements on top, so it makes it easier too, so that way you can measure. But if you're not too sure, you could also raise your loops. Just kind of make sure your bottom stays put, and that way you can kind of see by visual that they're both the same size. Okay. All right, gonna do the same thing, same size. And you could either do the measurement or do the visual, just eyeball it with that bottom loop, so they'll be the same. How are we doing out there today? Hope you're doing well and have better weather than we do out here. It's been a little nippy, at least for us here in Florida. We're not used to having to get too bundled up on a regular basis. Every once in a while, okay, but not for weeks in a row, or at least a week or so, almost 2 weeks now. Freezing rain and all that stuff. What is that all about? For Florida, goodness gracious. Okay, I think I'm gonna do, so I wanna go ahead, let's see, and look at, kind of do a feel on how much I have left on this one. So I don't want to have too little left that I can't do much with it. So I think I'm going to do another loop, another set. Same size. And again, I'm just doing that twist just because it's what I'm accustomed to doing. But if it's the same color, again, if there's no fade on the other side, you don't necessarily have to do that. On this last one, I don't twist, because that's the one that's going to be for our tail. You could extend to kind of measure out your tail so they'll be the same. And I'm just going to fold it right here and do that dovetail. So to do the dovetail, you just fold it in half, and you're going to cut away from you. From that middle that's folded, you're going to cut towards the wire side. Looks like I still have plenty of ribbon left for another bow. Okay, put the pin in. And I think I'm gonna keep that pink away. I think I'm gonna go with my white and red. It's got the hearts, and then I'm going to be using these other two. because the pink, this one has the pink and the red and the white. And then this one will go with the tire because we have the red heart in the middle, and then we have the white and black, so this one matches the tire. Alrighty. So as you have this on the Easy Bow Maker, if you're using that, you could start arranging your loops. Not 100% necessary for you to do that because you will still have to fluff and move things around once you have everything together. But if it's something you want to do just to kind of start seeing the shape of it, you're welcome to do that. Nothing wrong with that. Or not, just wait till the end. I tend to fluff it a gazillion times, so it seems like. I have to remind myself, okay, leave it alone. It looks just fine. Okay, I'll do maybe an inch shorter. Okay, and we're gonna do two, maybe, if we can. Let's see. I want to be able to do two, so let me use another remnant that I have of the same ribbon. Just with this one, I'll only be able to do one, and I want two. Guess I'm crazy like that. I want to show more of the white in the hearts. Oops. Okay, let's see if I can reach. I think this one has more. Was putting some kits together. Which they're already on the shop. Only got, I think, 2 left or 1 left. I'll have to check. But it's a Valentine's sign and ribbon kit, and I still have some of that ribbon that I used left over. So I'm trying to use it up. Okay. So with this one, we'll do 2 loops on each side, and we're going to go about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch shorter because we want the red to show. Okay. And again, if you're not sure that they're the same size, just put your finger there in the middle and extend your loops over, and that lets you know you'll be able to have a better visual that way. Okay. On to our second loop. Same size to do that visual. And then on this last one, we will not do that twist in the middle. And then we're going to go ahead and cut. And let's go ahead and do our dovetail right here, so we're not having to cut twice. Okay, we just fold, start cutting from where it's folded out to the wired edge, and that'll give you your dovetail. Just keeps it a little bit more dressed up that way, so to speak. Okay. Now we're going to go with our one and a half ribbon. These are all wired, by the way. I do recommend that you use wired ribbon. Makes it easier for shaping. Stays put. You can play with it and move it around and all of that, and you don't have to worry about it getting messed up. And then it'll hold its shape unless it gets squished, and then you could reshape it again. So that's why I love it. Okay, with this one I'm going to go a little bit extra longer because I'm going to curl it. So not too long of a curl, so I'm going to go about 20 inches. Okay, and we're going to be doing the same thing again. We're going to twist in the middle, go about 1/2 inch in, smaller, so we can see the other ribbon on the bottom. And I'm going to do 2 loops with this one as well. It's really curling on me, don't mind me. Okay, do the same text, my Spanglish, test, you know, to make sure that they're both the same size. And if you've watched with and joined me before, you may have learned a word in Spanish for bow. If you have and you know it, do put it on the comments. Let's see if we remember. Or maybe you can look it up on the previous videos. We were doing a bow and I just shared what the word is for bow in Spanish. Okay, this last one we will not do a twist on. Just going to put it in, make sure we have our bows the same. Use your bottom one as your measurement. And then we're going to cut them and do our, we actually didn't need a dovetail for this one since I'm going to curl it. I got an automatic palette, everyone. Keeps twisting on me, so I'm gonna, there we go. I'm gonna cut it at an angle since we're gonna curl it. Excuse me, you'll see soon what I mean by that. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this one at an angle as well. I'm just gonna cut one of those sides there and make it even. Alright, don't forget, if you're just joining, to do a thumbs up, click on that bell, subscribe to the channel, share the link with your friends and family on social media or through social media or even by email. Invite them to join and watch and learn. And to do the same thing, to do thumbs up and subscribe to the channel and click the bell and share. It helps with the growth of the channel if you do that. And we call that showing some love. So if you're liking what you're learning here today and learning new tips and tricks or just having fun with my Spanglish, thumbs up and share. Okay, so here's another tip that I'm going to share with you. On this ribbon, it has little hearts on it, and I'm going to go ahead and hold it up here in a sec. So the hearts are all facing the same direction, so they're not all over the place. So if you want the hearts to be facing in the same direction when you do your ribbon, we can do it by hand and then place it on top of our bow. So show you what that will look like. We're going to go a little bit shorter on the tail. So all you do is put your ribbon in between. Once you measure your tail out, put your ribbon in between your thumb and your index finger. And we're going to go over and under to make our first loop. Now, we got to know how big of a loop, so let's measure just a little bit shorter than the previous. And we're just going to tuck it under, right back in between that thumb and our index finger. If you're not sure, you can kind of look at it again. This one is going to be in the middle. It's just going to be one loop. But you could do multiple loops if you're doing a different ribbon and you want it bigger. Then on this other side, we're going to go from under and over. And again, just tuck it in right in between that thumb and your index finger. Your tail, you can position it, hold it with your other fingers if you want it to stay out of the way. And then just measure your loops to make sure that they're both the same. Do the same trick of just holding, putting your fingers, one finger through each loop and extend it out. And that way you can see that they're the same size, okay? Once you have that, measure your other tail and do your cut. And you could go ahead and do your dovetail right from here, so you won't have to cut twice. Again, all that is folding in half, and then you're going to cut from that folded edge to the wired edge at an angle, and that'll give you your dovetail. Okay, so if you notice, now all of my hearts are facing in the same direction for each side. See that? Let me hold it up a little bit more. And then of course with our tails, we can do the little twist and fix that as well. But that way on here, especially it works better if you're doing like with letters and you want the letters to be red. So if you do that, then it helps with that. Okay. I think I have one tail longer than the other, but my loops are the same. We'll cut them to size here in a second. And then just put it right on top of the rest of your bow, and there it is. Okay, so now we're going to use a zip tie to hold it together, and we're going to need a chenille stem to kind of tie it on to our other bow that we're going to make with the mesh. So it is telling me, for some reason, YouTube is giving me a sign that it's not receiving the data. So I'm going to keep on recording and then I'll upload. So sorry about that, everyone. Not sure what's going on. It should be receiving everything. Everything else looks good, but it's telling me there's no data being received. So I'm going to keep recording. So that way it won't be half-seas trying to get back on, have part of the video. Okay, so I'm just going to run this zip tie, making sure that I'm grabbing all of our loops, that they're all in there. Says it's streaming but not receiving data. I don't understand that. Okay, so I'm not gonna tie it all the way in or too tight. Just kind of hold it as you lift out of it. Make sure you're holding one side. We're gonna put our zip tie towards the back and just tighten it a little bit more. Let's get our pour maker out of the way here. Okay, we're gonna turn it on over. And we're going to run our zip tie right under it on the back, because this is again what we're going to be using to tie our bow to our mesh. Okay, and you can tighten up a little bit more. Just don't tighten all the way until you reposition all of your loops, which is what we'll do now. If there's anything twisted on the ribbons, you can give it a little twist and it'll loosen up on you so that you'll be able to move them. Okay. Okay, and this is mainly just making sure that we have all of our loops at least in the direction that we want it to be, and our tails are all facing in the same direction. We can curl it. And that is, we do all of that before we tighten up that zip tie. Because once we tighten up that zip tie, you can shape the loops, but you can't move them to a different position, if that makes sense. Okay. All right, so there's our bow. I'm gonna go ahead and just on the back, just tighten up that zip tie. I'm gonna cut off the excess on the zip tie, but leave our chenille stem, our pipe cleaner, in place. Okay, so that'll be our bow to go on top of our mesh bow. So I'm gonna put that to the side. And if you would have started with your mesh bow first, you could have put it in here. You'll see here in a minute to hold it in place while you work on this one. That's why I kind of did it the opposite way, so we don't have to worry about having to hold it anywhere else. Let's see. Better put this so you can see. See the bow. Okay. Here we go with our mesh one. Okay, I'm going to put it on my mesh roller just to make it easier for rolling, but you don't have to. If you have the, before I had that, I would put things, put these on a, inside a box or a bag, like one of those trash bags, so that way as it rolled, it wouldn't get dirty. So you could do that as well in the interim. You don't have to have the mesh roller. Okay, so all I'm doing is just gonna grab my edges here, just so I can keep up with it. Okay, and you literally just gonna make a bow with the mesh. Just gonna make a big loop. And bring it around. There's your first loop. You can make it as big or as small as you want. Gonna do another loop and bring it around. And then we'll have our tail. Okay, so we're gonna open up our poof. Basically that's what it is, a loop, but a poof since it's with mesh. And we're just gonna have that one tail in the middle. And then we're gonna cut our mesh. You can use the scissors, and you decide how long you want your tail to be. We can use the scissors, or we can use the oh, let me use what I mentioned earlier. Let me do the Bowdabra so you can see how that works. You could just put it in there, and it'll hold everything in place for you while you do the cutting. And I'm just visualizing it. Doesn't have to be a certain amount of inches. And it's going to curl, so don't worry too much about it being 100% even. Just make sure you don't have any jagged edges, okay? Okay. I'm going to use my rotary cutter. So it'll be a little bit straighter. Again, doesn't have to be because it will curl, and we're going to cover it up with the tails. grab a smaller zip tie. Just to make sure it stays nice and tight. We're going to go ahead and bring this out. There's our tail curling, just what we want. And we want to make sure we grab everything right in the middle to make sure everything stays together. Same concept here. Just give it a little pull and tug to how you want your tail to be. Make sure that our loops are facing in the right direction. Let me turn it over this way so you can see what I'm doing. And if not, adjust accordingly. That's why we don't want to tighten the zip tie too much until we're done. You can open it up more or close it up some more. You decide. I'm going to run that zip tie to the back just like we did with the other. And just tighten up. And we're going to cut off the excess. So we have our two big loops with the mesh. And our bow is going to go in the middle. And those tails are going to run with the mesh tail. And we can shorten it or make it longer as we need to. So now we can attach, since we have our pipe cleaner, we can use that to attach our bow. And then we can shape up as we need it. And we'll still have some more chenille stem to attach it to our sign. Or if we want to leave it just as is, we can leave it just as is. And we can play with our loops. As needed, shape our bow and our tails. Okay, and this is what I meant by curling the one that I made longer. Okay, what you're going to do is just kind of run it on your finger and just start turning it in. Just curl it. Don't forget, while you're here, give thumbs up, subscribe, and share. Okay, I'm going to leave that one curl while we work on the other one. And you do the same thing. Just curl it all the way up. So now what we would do is find our little corner that we cut diagonally, and we're going to pull. So it'll look somewhat like so. And you could pull it more if you want, or leave it short, entirely up to you. It's just to give it a different shape. So it's not everything is just the one long flat ribbon. Let me do this one from the other side. If I can get to that edge, a little corner, there it is. And then just pull. And then just shape your other tails. See, this one's longer, so let me cut it a little bit more. Now you can choose to leave them at different lengths. Nothing wrong with that. I just kind of want them more even if not exact. Okay. And there's that. So that gives you more of a background, and it makes your bow expand, look a little bit bigger. And then what you can do, if you would like to, is attach a sign, or you could do embellishments, like doing little hearts, and just kind of glue them on. These you also get from the dollar store. Okay. And to attach this, if you wanted to hang on here, you could use your wire and attach. Let me move that over so we can see. And then run the wire through the back, or use the same chenille stems to keep that sign where you want it. I'm just giving the stem a twist to kind of hold it together, to hold that sign in place. And then you could hang on the door. Trying to keep it to where you can see it here for the view. And you can move your tails, shape them up however you like. Got a lot going on there. This you can wrap on the corners, and it automatically curls the way it wants to. You just kind of curl the corners. The corners, see, my accent just kicked in again. All right, and there it is. Happy Valentine's Day. Nice big bow. Ugh, trying to lay it flat so you can see it a little bit better. Let's see. I'm trying to look at the camera view so I can see what you're seeing. There we go. I think that might be better. Okay. So any questions at all, be sure you put it on the comments. I do check on the comments periodically, so if in case you're not here live, well, we were trying to go live, it's showing no data, even though it's it's telling me it's streaming. I'll still check it, and then we'll know of any questions, and I can address any questions you may have later. I will go ahead and get this one uploaded as soon as we're done recording, and just let me know any questions. Just put it on comments, and again, thumbs up if you liked the video, learned anything, or just had some fun watching my craziness or hearing my Spanglish. And share with your friends and family. Help us with growing the channel. That's showing some love as you share, and of course with the thumbs up, and subscribe, and invite others to subscribe as well and join us. We're here every Friday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, and hopefully next week we won't have any issues with the streaming. And just as an update, we did not see any comments with regards to the drawing to win the sign in ribbon kit. So we'll check again tonight where we're going to be announcing the winner today, but through the week we did not see anything new coming up. So no subscriptions with regards to winning that free kit. So we'll probably change it up and we'll do something else here in the next month or so. But stay tuned. In order for you to know about those drawings we're having, you have to be subscribed to our email list. So do subscribe. There's a link on the bottom of the video. And that way you'll be notified of any special sales or drawings and things like that that we have going on, or where we were going to be for any kind of vendor shows or different events that we're going to, so that you can join us live. So until next time, don't forget, thumbs up, subscribe to email, share, keep creating, stay safe. Bye-bye.